Hi everyone, Scott or the Scott Man, and we are here in Detroit, Michigan. This is the largest city in the state of Michigan. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you about 11, if I had 11 fingers, 11 things to know about visiting Detroit. So the first thing is, how to even get here? Well, so there's a lot of great options. You can either drive here or you can fly in. If you're flying in, you'd be going most likely through Detroit Metro Airport. It's an airport about 20 miles, give or take, to the west-southwest of Detroit. You got the two big terminals, McNamara for Delta, KLM, Aeromexico, etc., and then the North Terminal for all other airlines. I even have a couple of videos I did on the McNamara terminal, as well as the driving tour around the Metro Airport. Feel free to go check those out, which will show you how to navigate the airport. And then from there, all you do is just take I-94 into Detroit. One thing I will say, there is no train or anything which goes from the airport to downtown Detroit, so this is a motor city after all, so you are going to need a car, whether it's a rental car or some type of a ride share or taxi, because Detroit does have Uber and Lyft available, so no worries there. And then from there you just take I-94, and then you can either take I-96 or M10 or the Lodge Freeway or I-75 into downtown, and voila, you are here. And if you're driving, you can take all other freeways, like I mentioned about I-94, the Lodge Freeway, I-75. You can also come up from Ohio on I-75, or coming down from like central or northern Michigan, south on I-75. And if you're across the river in Ontario, you can take either the Ambassador Bridge across. In fact, you can even see it over there. Yeah, there's probably a lot of helicopters out today because the Belle Isle Grand Prix is happening today. But anyway, or you can also take the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, which goes underneath the Detroit River from Windsor over to Detroit, approximately where like Randolph Street is, over near like Hart Plaza and the Detroit Renaissance Center, which you can see behind us. And last but not least, you can also take a train, although not from the airport, but you can take Amtrak from like Chicago or any of the major stops, which you would take by using Amtrak. And there's a station near the north end of the QLine, which I'll talk about momentarily. And then from there you can take the QLine, which runs along Woodward Avenue down to downtown Detroit. So that is another option of getting here. So now that you're here, now the second thing is, how do you navigate Detroit? Or at least downtown Detroit. There's quite a few different options. Like the first one is the Detroit People Mover. It is a monorail which runs in between all the different buildings in downtown. And the Detroit People Mover runs in a clockwise direction. You have a stop like at the Renaissance Center. We're here over here at the Jolos Arena right now. It takes all the way over to the Kobo Center, all the way up to Times Square, Grand Circus Park, all the way over to Greektown, and right down the Renaissance Center. So to ride the People Mover, you either pay with coins or you can get tokens. 75 cents per ride or one token. And the Detroit People Mover is a very nice way to get around downtown. To do a full loop, it'll take about 15 minutes or so. And what's really nice is that it doesn't cost very much to ride it. And the second option is the QLine. The QLine is a brand new streetcar which was built in, I think, about a couple years ago, which ends just to the north of Hart Plaza on Woodward Avenue, over near the Spirit of Detroit statue, and that takes you all the way up through downtown, past like Little Caesars Arena, Comerica Park, and going up into Midtown, and eventually ends north of Wayne State University. And here is where one of the QLine stations are located. We're here at the one at the southern end near Larned Street and Woodward. To pay for a ride on the QLine, you got these different kiosks at each station. To use these kiosks, it is credit or debit card only.
but you can purchase a 3-hour pass for only $1.50 or a $3 pass for the entire day. Or you can also choose to pay on board with cash.
And the QLine operates Monday through Thursday from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday from 6 a.m. to midnight, Saturday from 8 a.m. to midnight, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you got these easy steps right here to where you can easily choose what you like and check out. And tickets will come out down here. And this monitor will tell you how soon the next train will arrive, approximately. Because keep in mind with the streetcars, they do run with traffic, so they're not going to be on the dot when it comes to arrival times. And what's really nice about the QLine too is that it is heated in the wintertime and there is air conditioning in the summertime, so it is a very, very comfortable ride. And there's even free Wi-Fi too. And if you're looking to transfer from the People Mover to the QLine or vice versa, a good place to do that is here at Grand Circus Station. You got the platform for the People Mover up on the second floor over there. And then right over here you have the station for the QLine.
And of course the third option is you can walk. Downtown Detroit is a very walkable city, lots of different streets you can walk down, and so feel free to also get some exercise along the way. Alright, so now that you're here and you know how to navigate around the city, now we need to talk about the third thing to know about visiting Detroit, and that's food. You know me, I do a bunch of travel delights videos, so you know I'm an expert when it comes to food. So if Detroit has a lot of great food options. First off, you have to have a Coney Island while you're here. A Coney Island is basically a hot dog with chili, some onions, and even some mustard on it. You absolutely have to have one while you're here. There are many different Coney Island spots. You got American Coney Island and Lafayette Coney Island. Feel free to check out my Travel the Lights videos on both restaurants and let me know which one is your favorite. But even all throughout Metro Detroit too, there are all other different great Coney Islands, including some Coney Island chains which you can check out if you're not heading to downtown Detroit. And not only that, but Detroit is also famous for Detroit style pizza, which is basically like a square deep dish pizza. And one popular chain you can check out is Buddy's Pizza, and it's like the northeastern part of Detroit. You definitely have to drive there. You can't walk there. In fact, I would highly advise not walking there from here. Is the original Buddy's Pizza location. It's the signature place for the Detroit style pizza. And also, especially on the weekends, there are a lot of great brunch spots too. Although it was a few years ago, I even went to a place called the Dime Store, had a fantastic brunch. So there are a lot of great other food options while you're here in downtown Detroit. And don't forget, there are even some ethnic foods you can have here too, such as Greek food. You can check out the Greek food over in Greektown. It's really beautiful. It's right next to the Greektown Casino. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And there's also some great Mexican foods over in Mexican Town, which is located in the southwest part of the city. Just go southwest along 4th Street and you'll be right there. Again, for Mexican Town, you probably would want to drive there. And if you really like markets, you have to check out Eastern Market. Eastern Market is a very popular market with all sorts of amazing foods, even food from local vendors. It's open year-round on Saturdays, and then from like June to September, it's available on Sundays, also on Tuesdays, and then every third Thursdays during the summer months. So you will not go hungry when you're here in Detroit. And then don't forget to check out some of the other restaurants outside of downtown. You can go to Corktown, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Detroit, and you can go to Slow's Barbecue. It's a legendary spot for barbecue. I went there a few months ago, and oh, it was so amazing. Especially that mac and cheese they have there. So even if you're vegetarian, still go to Slow's Barbecue, even if it's just for the mac and cheese. And then there are a lot of great sports bars options. Don't forget Hockeytown, because there's a lot of Detroit Red Wings memorabilia located inside Hockeytown. It's just located across the street from Comerica Park. So now the fourth thing about visiting Detroit is some things to see and do here. Well, the first one is just right behind us. That is the Detroit Renaissance Center. It is currently the tallest building, or at least the GM Tower over there. That is the tallest building as of right now in Detroit. They're building a brand new skyscraper, which is going to be taller than the Renaissance Center, but we'll have to wait till that's completed.
And this is where the Hudson building used to be, and in a matter of several years they're going to be building a skyscraper which will be even taller than the Renaissance Center.
The tallest building at the Renaissance Center is 73 stories tall, and the Renaissance Center even has its own zip code. The zip code is 48243. Just think of that. And they even offer free tours inside from 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. on weekdays. Unfortunately, however, there is no observation deck at the tower. At the top. So that's kind of a shame, but that's all right.
Head inside the Renaissance Center to check out all 5 towers. As the world headquarters of General Motors, make sure to check out GM World with a huge display of great automobiles for brands such as Chevrolet, Buick, Cadillac, and GMC.
And even a truck made of Legos. How about that? And this is the GM Winter Garden. There are also some additional restaurants here, including a Panera Bread, and it's a nice spot to be inside and look out over the Detroit River with Windsor across the river.
Inside the Renaissance Center, there are plenty of restaurant opportunities, including Andiamo, just right over there.
And here on the A level too, there's also a cafe, a McDonald's over there as well. And the Marriott is located on the 3rd level.
Hart Plaza. This is a very beautiful plaza. It was named after the late U.S. Senator Philip A. Hart. And here at this park, they host a lot of different festivals here during the summer time. And back in 1701, Cadillac came over from what is now Montreal, Quebec, and he first settled down in Gros Isle, or what is now Gros Isle, in 1701, but then later came upstream and he set up a fort over at where it's now at the corner of Jefferson and Shelby Street, and the fort was called Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit, with Detroit meaning the strait, and that is where Detroit got its name from. And another very cool thing to see here in Detroit, just north of Hart Plaza, we have the Spirit of Detroit. It was built by Marshall Fredericks and dedicated back in 1958. And one cool thing about this statue is, since 1997, when the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cups, it'll occasionally wear different jerseys, such as Detroit Red Wings or the Michigan Wolverines or the Michigan State Spartans.
And now that you've seen some popular attractions, now we'll move on to number 5, and that's some other things to see, such as theaters and venues. There are a lot of great options for the performing arts. The first one, of course, is the Fox Theater. You can see so many concerts, musicals, plays at the Fox Theater. The Fox Theater was opened back in 1928, and it is a prime spot to see the arts up close and personal. And right next door, you also have the Fillmore, which is another smaller theater as well, where they also put on to different performances, comedy shows, you name it. And then also there's the Detroit Opera House, which originally opened up as the Capitol Theater back in 1922. So if you're interested in seeing the opera, you can do so here in Detroit.
And if you come up to Midtown, you also have the Masonic Temple. It is another place where you can see some fantastic performances.
And west of Hart Plaza, we have the Cobo Center. The Cobo Center is a very large convention center, and it's been home to the International Auto Show, which has been every January. This is where the huge auto show has been hosted. A lot of people come to Detroit to check out the auto show in January.
So yeah, those are some great options to do, whether it's a nice day like today or if it's raining or even snowing out. Because don't forget, Detroit does experience all 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. In winter, it snows here. So you might want to look at doing some indoor activity, especially when it's really cold outside. So now let's move on to the 6th topic. Whether you're into performing arts, but you want to see some other cool things, or if you're not and you want to go see some museums, well, we're talking about a couple different museums you have to check out. The first one is an absolute must. It's like a 5-star in my book. That is the Detroit Institute of Arts. It is the main art museum here in Detroit. And if you live in Oakland County, Macomb County, or Wayne County, yes, I'm pointing at you guys. You can go there for free. You don't have to pay anything. Just show your ID, showing proof that you live in one of those 3 counties, and you can go in without having to purchase a ticket. But one thing to note is that the Detroit Institute of Arts is closed on Monday. So if you're looking for something to do on Monday, you may not want to go there because the doors will be locked. And some cool museums to check out too is the Motown Museum, aka Hitsville, USA. Detroit is the hometown of Motown. Experience the experience of the Temptations, the Supremes, Stevie Wonder, many great, fantastic artists. You can go take a tour of the classic recording studio where all your great Motown favorites were recorded. One thing to note, if you do go there, photography and videography is not allowed there. So you just have to go there to experience it. I kid you not. Alright, so move on to topic number 7, is that now that you know some cool things to check out, you're probably wondering, where do I stay? Well, there are a lot of great hotel options. You got the Marriott located inside the Renaissance Center. Yes, I keep pointing to that just because it's in the beautiful background behind us. And there's also a Courtyard by Marriott, like right across the street, across on Jefferson. Other hotels all throughout the city as well, throughout downtown as well. And not only that, I decided to combine this into the same topic because you also can stay at some hotels at the casinos. Yes, move over, Sin City. Detroit has 3 of its own casinos. You got Greektown Casino located in Greektown. So if you're looking to do some gambling and at the same time check out some of the Greek restaurants, Greektown is a great location to go to. And then they also have MGM Grand Casino located in the west side of downtown, not terribly far from the DTE Energy headquarters. And then just to the northwest of downtown Detroit along Grand River near the Lodge Freeway, you have Motor City Casino. But that's not all. You can, if you have a passport, you can also go across the Detroit River to Windsor, as there's another casino, Caesars Windsor. So it's another one because Windsor is just right across the river from Detroit. So whether you're here to do some gambling or have a good time, you got a lot of great options. And don't forget, they're not just casinos, but they're also restaurants and hotels too. All right, so moving on to the 8th thing to know about visiting downtown Detroit is the parks. And one cool thing is I'm in a park right now. This is the William G. Milliken State Harbor and State Park. It is a beautiful riverwalk located along the Detroit River. This riverwalk spans all the way beyond the Renaissance Center, almost going over to Cobo Center, and comes through here and heads all the way down that way. You have a beautiful lighthouse at the northeastern end, and even will take you to the recently renamed Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. It was originally called Sham Park, but it was renamed in dedication to the late but great Aretha Franklin. And other parks to check out too, you got Campus Martius Park too, which is located at the very center of Detroit. And if you go north from Campus Martius Park, that is where the Mile Road system begins. Like if you don't know, the Mile Roads are pretty much go like 1 mile each as you go north, as in a more like in a grid-like structure with the roads as you go up into Metro Detroit to the northern suburbs. And then just a little bit more further to the north on Woodward, you also have Grand Circus Park, another fine, beautiful park just halfway between Campus Martius Park and like where Comerica Park and Fox Theater are. And then don't forget to check out the largest park in Detroit, and that is Belle Isle. The whole island is a state park. You must check it out while you're here. I'd even go there today to film some things. However, the Grand Prix is going on there, so I'd probably be a little difficult to do so, but yeah, definitely have to check that out while you're here. And the ninth thing to know about visiting Detroit, especially downtown Detroit, are the sports teams. Detroit is home to the Big Four, and that's baseball, American football, basketball, and hockey. All 4 teams are now in downtown Detroit. You got Comerica Park, which is home to the Detroit Tigers that opened back up in the year 2000. They moved from the now torn down Tiger Stadium over in Corktown. So you can enjoy a nice baseball game out in the outdoors. It is a very beautiful baseball park. And then for football, you have the Detroit Lions. Hopefully they win a Super Bowl in the near future. That was Ford Field is where they play. That opened up in 2002. The Detroit Lions moved down here from the Pontiac Silverdome, which also has been torn down. And then you have Little Caesars Arena. I even did a video inside there a couple years ago. Feel free to check that out as well. That is where the Detroit Red Wings hockey team and the Detroit Pistons play. And again, that opened up just a couple years ago, as the Pistons used to play up in Auburn Hills at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and then the Red Wings used to play at the Joe Louis Arena, which is unfortunately being in the process of being torn down. But the arena is absolutely beautiful. I really like how what they've done with the arena. So now you're probably wondering, with tip number 10, you're probably wondering, you've heard a lot of things about Detroit, and I guess a big question everybody has is Detroit safe? Well, I'm filming this with a tripod, aren't I? So I have a lot of electronic equipment with me right now. So if you're here in downtown Detroit, yes, it is definitely safe. I have no problems walking around the downtown Detroit area. In the daytime, I have no problems here. At night, during the nighttime, I do advise maybe walking in groups, but you never know. But other than that, it's usually no problems in downtown Detroit. It's once you get outside of the city where it can get a little sketchy, because there are still many neighborhoods which are not areas where I even would want to go to during the daytime. So be careful with that. Midtown is even getting a little bit better too, especially like along Woodward over by the Detroit Institute of Arts and Wayne State. There aren't really too many issues over there. It's once you get out to some of the outer neighborhoods in Detroit where you definitely would not really want to venture out to those, especially at night. But yeah, as for downtown Detroit, yeah, it's definitely safe. Just exercise your normal street smarts like you would with any other city around the world. So, but yeah, you have to come here. It is a beautiful city. So yeah, do not let what people have said about Detroit deter you from visiting this beautiful city. And we made it to number 11. Okay, my head could be the 11th finger. And that is, if you want to get outside of downtown Detroit, there are a lot of other cool suburbs of Detroit which you can check out. You got Dearborn, which you got the Henry Ford, including Greenfield Village, and then you can also go up to Troy. You got the Somerset Collection as a very upscale mall which you can check out. You can even head west over to Ann Arbor. There are a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great things to check out while you're in Ann Arbor. Or you can even go across the river to Windsor, Ontario, over in Canada. Just make sure you have a passport when you head over there. Because yeah, there's all sorts of great things you can do here in the Metro Detroit area, but this video is primarily for downtown Detroit, because again, you have to come here to experience the actual culture here. It is a city worth checking out. And matter of fact, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think Lonely Planet even made this one that's top cities to visit. So yeah, please come to Detroit. It's a fantastic city. You must experience it for yourself. Well, I hope you enjoyed this helpful video with checking out downtown Detroit. Because there's, again, a lot of cool things to see while you're here in the city. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of amazing things which I did not mention in this video. So yeah, please feel free to comment below in the video if you have any other tips you'd like to offer for everybody else too, or other cool things to check out. Yeah, please comment on them. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I'm sure everybody else will appreciate it as well. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure, and don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thank you for watching today's video with 11 things to know about visiting downtown Detroit, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out.